Okay, YouTuber, so here's the thing. I'm gonna do my first review video here, but I've decided to choose a little specific topic. This is a review video for Call of Duty 2's Mob of the Dead Zombie Mode. Now, this is a game mode that I'm gonna warn you is probably the hardest we've ever seen for zombies. It takes place in 1920s Alcatraz, the prison. So, instantly, boom, that caught my attention. So I have the season pass. I was like, oh man, I can't wait for this. Now in this game, you have to go through. Whenever you die once per round, you become a ghost. And in this ghost mode, it's called Afterlife mode. You can activate certain things, like you have to turn on the perk machines. There are certain doors you have to unlock by like floating through walls. And the main point of this game is to get the four characters, Sal, Billy, Finn, and Weasel, off of Alcatraz Island. But for the past 50 years, they've been caught in a loop. So they still think it's 1920s when it's really the 70s. Every time they die, they go back in their bodies and it restarts all over again. And they've been trying to stop this for the last 50 years. So throughout this game, you're going to fight zombies dressed as guards, prisoners, just about anything you can think of. There's this really big guy named Brutus who can punch perks and punch the box and shut everything down. Now he's trouble. And I know most people are going to be like, oh, this sounds so hard. It's not so hard. But unless you have people that you know, it's going to be a little hard. Throughout the game, you get to build certain things. There's a new zombie shield that you can build, which is really cool. There's this acidifier, I guess you could call it. It's called the Acid Gat Kit. There's a 4-barrel shotgun exclusive to Mob of the Dead in zombies that you can get called the Blunder Gat. Now, what the Acid Gat thing does is you put the Blunder Gat in it, and when it comes out, it shoots acid bullets. This game also introduces one new perk called Electric Cherry. Electric Cherry, a lot of people are skeptical about because it's a perk that where you reload, it creates a shock burst around you. Now, I personally have made it to wave 24 so far, and Electric Cherry has saved my ass. This thing shocks and paralyzes all zombies around you for 2 seconds, long enough for you to reload and walk out of the zombies you're piled against in the corner. Now, Electric Cherry also works with any combination of perks. I usually prefer Juggernaut, Speed Cola, Double Tap, and Electric Cherry. Another cool thing about this game mode is there are these Hellhound heads that are on certain parts of the walls in 3 different locations. The infirmary, the beginning spawn, and the docks. When you feed these 3 dogs, you will find that there is a wall with 3 dog heads on it near Double Tap. Now when you do this, and the dogs retreat into the walls and their face and the dog symbol glows, there's a tomahawk in the game called Hell's Retriever. Most people don't know about this yet. Hell's Retriever is the first time we've ever seen a tomahawk in Call of Duty. So, personally, I'm a huge Sticks and Stones fan, so I went straight for it. Hell's Retriever is probably the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. You hold it for 3 seconds, throw it, and it blows up zombies. It's insane. Mob of the Dead can get hard at points. It's really hard because the whole point of this game is to run around and make wave after wave after wave while trying to build a plane to get off Alcatraz. And I'm not going to tell you what happens when you do it, because that's a spoiler and I don't do those. I will do a video later explaining every little tip, like all the little tips and tricks that you can do, and I'll explain it to you step by step. But basically, to wrap this all up, my review and my score for Mob of the Dead is an 8 out of 10. I give it an 8 out of 10 because all around, this is probably the coolest thing I've ever seen. And as far as the Uprising DLC goes, I give it a 9 out of 10 because these multiplayer maps are awesome. But Mob of the Dead is what we're talking about. Mob of the Dead is a game mode that's creative, challenging, fast-paced, and extremely multitask heavy. And if you like multitasking, and I know a lot of people don't, but there are 4 people, so, you know, multitasking isn't that hard. Now, there is a lot of cooperation in this game between Afterlife mode and when you're not in Afterlife, when you're in your human body. So, you do have to know how to collaborate those 2 things together. But if you like challenging zombie modes, if you love Kindertoten or the moon base level of Black Ops 1, you really need to get Mob of the Dead. In my opinion, Uprising is worth the $15 just for that zombie mode. So an 8 out of 10 is what I give it here. That's my Mob of the Dead review, guys. Subscribe if you like it, because I'm going to be doing tons of these videos. And leave me your comments and tell me what you think of Mob of the Dead. And also, leave me suggestions for what I should do for my next review. So, I'm Super Commie Alex 95. Thanks, YouTube. Hit you up later.